what's up everyone? GameDad here, coming at you guys with another handheld collection series. We got another two-parter, and today we are taking a look at part one of my current Nintendo 3DS collection. Past couple of weeks we were taking a look at the DS, and now we're going to hit that 3DS. So, come with me as we check out the games that are on the list today. Adventure Time, Explore the Dungeon Because I Don't Know was released by WayForward Technologies in 2013, and the game is just as ridiculous as the title. It's just your typical kind of like generic style 3DS game. Really nothing to write home about. It loosely follows adventures that are happening in Adventure Time, but overall, I mean, it's just a really basic game. I got it for, I think, like 50 cents. The Amazing Spiderman was released by Beenox in 2012, and honestly, this is probably one of the worst Spider-Man games I've played. It's very, like, timed events and stuff like that, and it really was not fun. It is definitely no PS4 Spider-Man. Up next, we got Cave Story 3D, released by Nicholas in 2011, and this game, it's a really good game. I played through the original with its bit art style, and then I played through this one, and the gameplay is the same between both of them. It's still the same story, still the same fun game, but honestly, I think adding a 3D effect to it makes the game worse. It wasn't as aesthetically pleasing as the bit art style, in my opinion. And up next, we got Chibi Robo Zip Lash, released by Skip Ltd. in 2015. And it's a fun little 2.5D platformer. You're going around as this little tiny robot that has to keep plugging in the things to get new powers or supercharged or make different things in the level work. So there is a bit of a puzzle platformer aspect to it. But overall, the game is really fun. As you can see, the graphics are pretty nice on cinematics and stuff. The gameplay graphics aren't really anywhere near as good, but it's still a fun game. Here we have Codename Steam, released by Intelligent Systems in 2015, and I was pretty hyped for this game whenever it first came out because the graphics looked awesome, and it looked like a super fun action game, but it's actually a style of game that I really don't care for, and that's kind of like that XCOM style where you're moving around on a grid. Here we have Detective Pikachu, released by the Pokemon Company in 2018, and this one was a big letdown for me. There was a ton of hype around this game. They came out with the giant Detective Pikachu amiibo and all kinds of stuff, and of course they ended up making a movie. Still haven't seen the movie, but I heard it was pretty good. But this game is the most simplistic, basic game that I have ever played, and it is not fun. It's actually really boring. Up next is Hey Pikmin, released by Azrest in 2017, and I am a huge fan of the Pikmin games. They've always been a ton of fun, whether it was on GameCube, Wii U, any of those. They were super fun games, so I was really stoked when it came out on 3DS. It's definitely a different style game on the 3DS. They take it from a full open world and full 3D and everything to make it a 2.5D platformer, but the game still has all the same kind of puzzles and all the same action you would expect. Up next is Hyrule Warriors Legends, released by Koei Tecmo Games in 2016, and this was a follow-up to the Wii U launch of Hyrule Warriors. Super fun game. I'm not a huge fan of like Dynasty Warrior kind of games, but when they put a Zelda skin on it, it was a lot more fun in my opinion. So this took all the DLC and all the different characters and put it all onto the 3DS, so lots of fun. Up next is Kid Icarus Uprising, released by Project Sora in 2012, and this was the first Kid Icarus game in a really long time. I still remember playing the original one on the NES, and it was super fun. A lot of the sounds could be obnoxious, but this game took it and just thrusted it into the 3D world. It's pretty fun. A lot of it is like an on-rail shooter, but, you know, overall, it's not a bad Kid Icarus game. And here we have Kirby Planet Robobot, released by HAL Laboratory in 2016, and I gotta say, this game is a blast. It is so much fun. Think any fun Kirby game, and then add mech suits, and that's what this game is. So it's classic Kirby platforming action, and you're going through, you know, defeat the baddie, all that kind of stuff, but then you get giant robot mech suits to play as well. Super fun. And here is Kirby Triple Deluxe, released by HAL Laboratory in 2014, and this was my first 3DS Kirby game. Super, super fun. It kind of followed along with like Wii U art styles, sort of. Not really Epic Yarn or anything like that, but it followed along with the same kind of virtual aesthetic, so it looks just as good as one of the console ones. Not really any kind of jagged edges or anything like that, but overall, just a fantastic Kirby game to play. Here we have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, released by Next Level Games in 2013, and this was a continuation of the Luigi's Mansion franchise from previous generations. Now, they did release the original Luigi's Mansion on 3DS as well. I don't really care for it that much on being on 3DS, but this one, it was the only iteration that we got. And I gotta say, it was still pretty fun. Graphically, it's okay, but it was still just a fun Luigi story. Up next is Mario and Luigi Dream Team, released by Alpha Dream in 2013. Now, I did have a lot of fun playing this in the beginning. I ended up putting like, I don't know, 30 hours into the game, and I thought I had finally gotten to the end and was super excited, and found out that was just the halfway point of the game. This game is insanely long, like way more than it actually needs to be to get the same story across. So, it's okay. Up next is Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, released by Alpha Dream in 2016, and this was like a Mario and Luigi tag team of a Paper Mario game. It was okay, but I'd much rather just play a Paper Mario game, honestly. I don't really know why they had to cross these two worlds together, but the outcome was just kind of mediocre. Last up for these is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, released by Alpha Dream in 2017. And this is the original Superstar Saga game that kind of kicked off this whole franchise, but then they go back and they add a quote-unquote DLC to it, and that's Bowser's Minions. Overall, the game is super fun, and obviously it sold well in the beginning because they ended up creating an entire franchise out of it. And here we have Mario Kart 7, released by Nintendo in 2011, and this game's fantastic. It was the first time they actually added gliders and stuff like that, which ended up being in pretty much every subsequent Mario game, and they really fine-tuned the drifting and then added the extra turbo boost to the drifting. So, super fantastic Mario Kart game, and lots of customization options as well. Up next is Mario Party Star Rush, released by ND Cube in 2016. Now, I'm a pretty big fan of the Mario Party games, especially earlier ones in the franchise, not necessarily the older ones, but I don't know what it is. Playing them on a handheld just isn't really the same. It's not as fun to me because you don't have a big group of people with you. Sure, you can do like local play and stuff like that, but overall, I don't know, it's just okay. Now here's a good one. That is the Mega Man Legacy Collection, released by Digital Eclipse Software in 2016. And I don't know why they have the Rockman cover art instead of the actual Mega Man cover art, but it's super fun. It's all of those original like NES Mega Man games that you can take on the go, and I'm a huge Mega Man fan, so it was awesome to be able to have this for a handheld that I can just play anytime I want on the go. Last up for this video is Metroid Samus Returns, released by Mercury Steam in 2017, and this is a remake of the original Samus game, and graphically looks much better. Obviously, it's had a huge jump in technological time, but overall it's the same great game with a lot of new added creature comforts, so I really liked it. So there you have it, everyone. That is everything on the list for part 1 of my current Nintendo 3DS collection. This was the first half of the collection, and next week we will be taking a look at part 2, showcasing the second half of the collection. Now, if you liked today's video, please let me know down in the comments below, and while you're down there, please be sure to also hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell so you get an alert every time I get a new video coming out. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.